Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, the Secret Service is out. Okay. What took so long? What took so long? I mean, come on. I'm going to have a full report on it. No gloat zone. I said the day after the shooting of Donald Trump that this woman should have been gone. I'll explain why she wasn't gone, but now she is gone, and that's best for the country. But first, we're going to do the cover-up of President Biden's mental condition. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Now, Republicans think they're going to get a lot of campaign mileage out of this, that key Democrats, including Kamala Harris, knew Biden was on the slide and lied about it. There's already GOP ads out there. They think this is going to be big. I'm not so sure that come November, this is going to matter one way or the other. What I am sure about is there was a cover-up, a significant one, that people in proximity to President Biden knew he was unable to run the country. They knew it, and they lied to the media about it. Therefore, they lied to you about it. And the media is so corrupt that it didn't challenge, it didn't do anything, as usual. So let's begin with Kamala Harris, who is going to run against Donald Trump. Roll the tape.
Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office who is meeting with heads of the military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America, the person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice, most recently just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
What a bunch of bull. She said that on June 27th, right after the debate. It was bull. All right, so take it for what it's worth. How about Nancy Pelosi? Go.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there.
Yeah, sure he is. And you stabbed him right in the back 18 times. All right. So that Nancy Pelosi statement was made on June 30th. On July 3rd, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Now, you haven't seen her for a while. Where is Karine? Maybe she's on vacation. Club Med, you think? And we haven't seen her. Where is she? Did she resign from the campaign, too? Roll, Miss Jean-Pierre. Go.
And then finally, you have more interaction with the president than most folks. You know him better than most anyone else. Can you say, do you believe that the president is as sharp today as he was when he took this job? Have you seen any slowdowns?
What I can say is this is a president who is strong and resolute in delivering for the American people. That's what I see.
That's what you want to see. That's not what you saw. I know you're paid, Miss Jean-Pierre, to propagandize. They all are. Every single press secretary in history has been paid to propagandize. But, come on. And now she's running for the hills, Jean-Pierre. Where is she, as I mentioned? How about MSNBC? Now, the reason I'm running a soundbite, and I've said this before, but I want you to really focus in on this. MSNBC, run by NBC News, run by Comcast Corporation out of Philadelphia, is not an independent news agency any longer. MSNBC has become part of the Democratic Party. Roll it.
Folks need to just calm the hell down. Democrats need to check themselves. All this talk about replacing him is not going to happen. Joe Biden is not going to make that move.
Now, shouldn't he quit still? Shouldn't he say, oh, well, maybe not quit. That might be too harsh. Should he say, hey, I made a mistake? He was told to say that. All right? He gets paid, and they tell him what to say, so he says it. Okay. Then there's more on the Biden resignation. So I knew, and we ran this last night, that Biden wouldn't make it 10 months ago, whatever. And it's not that I'm a genius. You could see it. I could see it with my own eyes. These people saw what I saw. Okay? So here's the Biden campaign co-chair on June 28th. Go.
There's always a truth-telling session when these things happen. Joe Biden is not averse to hearing things that are bad. He has to make the decision about whether he's going to be a candidate or not. He has done that, and he's going to be the nominee.
Yeah. Again, this guy has to say that. Landrieu, New Orleans, has to say it. See, I could never do that. And I'm not being self-righteous here. But in a million years, no matter how much money you paid me, I would not say something that wasn't true or even absurd. Now, what about the press? CNN senior White House correspondent, June 28th. Go.
There are no plans, I'm told, for the president to drop out of the race. And even further, I'm told that the president is still committed to a second debate in September, which is currently scheduled for September 10th and hosted by ABC News, much along the lines of the rules of the debate that was hosted last night.
All right, so how does a senior White House correspondent for CNN, who's on the lawn, in the building, sees the president whenever he comes out, how does she not know that he can't carry on? And I know that he can't carry on, but she doesn't know. How does that happen? She's there, I'm here on Long Island. We both have eyes and ears. She doesn't know, and I do know. How does that happen? Very simple answer. She didn't want to know. That's not what CNN wanted to hear. You getting the corruption level here? Boy. So again, are the folks going to care about this cover-up about Biden's mental acuity? The partisans will. You can hear it on talk radio. Now they're going crazy. Kamala, she lied. Yeah, Kamala did. She did. She did a lot worse things than that. Okay? But I don't know. I think this is going to die out. Could be wrong. Could be done. Now, one more thing in the talking points memo that I think is important. President Biden's going to disappear pretty much now. He's gone. Nobody even cares about him anymore because he's not useful to anybody. Where's Jill? Remember Jill after the debate? She was everywhere. Everywhere there was Jill. Where's Jill? I guess he's with John Pierre, Corinne. Maybe they're probably in Aruba somewhere. I don't know. We haven't heard from Jill in about 8 days. Where's Jill? So Biden's done. Finished. He's still president. Okay, but he never really was making any decisions, so he'll do what he always did. Probably take more naps now that nobody cares. He will make an appearance at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I think probably he'll show up on the 21st of August there. And they'll love him. Oh, Joe, you're the greatest guy. Joe. Okay? But it's not going to be long. Maybe he'll make a speech. Maybe he'll just wave at the crowd. I don't know. But remember, there's going to be big trouble outside that convention hall in Chicago. That could prevent him from getting in there, depending on how fast this gets out of control there. I have no confidence in the Chicago police. I do believe there will be federal marshals there, and perhaps the National Guard will be there to protect that convention, because the loons are going to show, thousands of them. The anti-Israel people, that's what they hide behind, but they're really anarchists. They'll be there. But say goodbye to Joe. Joe is pretty much over. But I think he'll stay until January. And the Republicans, be wise to shut up about that. Because Kamala gets in there, she can do some stuff to help her win the election if she's president. And that is a memo. Okay, so again, I'm sorry to belabor you with this, but it's so important to know the level of the press in this country. It's so important. So on the day that Joe Biden resigned, I knew within 5 minutes Kamala Harris was going to be the designee, because they were not going to go the Democrats to Chicago with an open convention to create even more chaos. It was never going to happen. Then there's the money factor. We've been over that. But other people, they were putting out this open convention stuff. Go.
So it's interesting because this Democratic National Convention, it could really go several different ways. And this could be the very first open convention that we have seen since 1968. And ironically, that DNC was held here in Chicago.
That was said yesterday. She said that yesterday. So if I'm her boss, I call her in. Come on. You know? You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem like you never take that next financial step forward. If the bills are higher than what you bring in, a credit card might be what's making up the difference for you. The problem is the debt keeps on growing. Well, if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break that cycle. American Financing saves people like you an average of $854 a month. Even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. And if you call American Financing today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Please call 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. So Kamala Harris is out on trail. And again, she's not going to sit for any interviews. It's going to be the Biden thing. They know how to dodge. She is speaking in West Allis, Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee, today. And all the Dems in Wisconsin are going to join her, and that's logical. Okay, and then she's going to go to Indianapolis tomorrow. I don't know why she's going to Indianapolis, because there's no way Indiana is going to vote for her. But there's a sorority convention. So I guess people from all over the country are coming to Indianapolis, and that's probably why she's doing it. Donald Trump is tomorrow going to Charlotte, North Carolina, a big rally at the Bojangles Coliseum. And then on Saturday, he's doing a Nashville event. So we will keep you posted on all of that. We're not covering them per se, but if something happens or they say something that's controversial or new, we're on it. Okay, so back to the media, an interesting interview with James Carville. So you remember one of the things I pointed out in the run-up to Biden quitting the race was that 2 guys were out there, Democrats, telling him to quit. Okay, you had David Axelrod on CNN. He's Obama's guy. And you had James Carville all over the place. Carville didn't work for anybody. He appeals all over the place. And he's Clinton's guy. Okay? So when they speak, they're speaking for their mentors or the guys they're associated with. I mean, that's been going on forever. So Carville shows up on a podcast and says this. Go.
My favorite is Van Jones's and even the Dan Abrams, both of whom I like. Yeah. Okay, I know them both. Talking about how Trump's a changed man. What in the are you? If anybody says that, there should be a lifetime ban from being on anything. Okay? I mean, that is just a breathtaking ignorance of what people are like, and particularly Donald Trump. I mean, I love that. He was a changed man. I'll tell you what, that bro, yeah, my God, he found God. Yeah, right, sure, absolutely.
All right, so Carville apparently can read minds, and it's an interesting skill to have. Now, is Donald Trump a changed man? I don't know. I texted him a few times and basically hoping his family is okay after the shooting. I don't know whether he's a changed man or not. I suspect that he will moderate a little bit, but he's essentially going to do what he's always done because he feels that was successful for him. So he issued a tweet yesterday on social media. Here it is. Wow, just watching the fake news, and they're doing their very best to turn the worst president in history of our country into a brilliant and heroic leader. He was heroic because he quit. And to turn dumb as a rock Kamala Harris from a totally failed and insignificant vice president to a future great president, no, it just doesn't work that way, unquote. So dumb as a rock. Okay. Now, to me, I don't do that if I'm Trump, because it doesn't get you anywhere. Your MAGA supporters feel like she's dumb as a rock. Okay. Yeah, they do. You're right. But independents may not see it that way, and you're not going to get any votes calling her dumb as a rock. You might say of dubious intellect. Yeah, okay. But the name calling, it doesn't do Trump any good at this point. And that's what the debate's going to be all about, because Kamala's going to attack him, racist, rapist, you name it. Because she's worse than he is. I think she's worse than he is on a personal attack front. All right? But they're both going to get in the mud. Secret Service. Okay. Kimberly Cheatle, 27th director. No idea what she's doing. None. And that's a shame, because the former president is almost killed. Here's what I said right after the shooting. Roll the tape. Okay. Logistics. Head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle, gone. All right. She works for Biden directly. Secret Service is controlled by the executive branch. She's out because the security at the Trump event in Butler was terrible. There's no excuse for it. It was terrible. So Ms. Cheatle will resign. That was 8 days ago, and I had the same tie. 8 days ago. Took her 8 days to resign. And the only reason she resigned is because she was so embarrassing in those hearings yesterday in front of the House Oversight Committee. I mean, can you imagine, and I have this in my morning message on BillO'Reilly.com, which I hope you read. So the senator goes, the congressman goes, how could a 20-year-old with a heavy weapon climb to the top of a building with line of sight without you guys knowing it? And she goes, I don't know. 9 days after the shooting. You don't know? We're investigating. Out. So Biden should have done that the day after the shooting, but I don't even know Biden knows that Kimberly Cheatle testified yesterday. All right. How's your energy bill doing? Mine's through the roof. Okay. So California and New York, two worst for energy bills because they slap so much tax on it. But 78% of U.S. adults are worried about their energy bills because it just depletes their take-home pay. And record heat. Now, this is data gathered by CNET, Home Energy Study, this month, just released. Okay, 70% of U.S. adults are actively pursuing energy efficiency measures. That means they're paying too much. All right? 15% are dipping into savings to pay those bills. Highest electricity rates: Connecticut, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, Tennessee, West Virginia, Alabama, Alaska, and Maine. So Alaska, that's got to be heating. You don't need air conditioning up there. Same thing in Maine. And California and New York, of course, with the craziness. So you're getting hit food, you're getting hit gas, you're getting hit utilities, home insurance, car insurance, mortgage rates, highest home prices in history. But bidenomics is working. Hey, come on. Kamala just said it. Bidenomics working. Chicago. Okay. So this is about the most stressed cities in the country. Chicago ranks 33 out of 182. According to Wallet Hub. We like Wallet Hub. Chicago is stressed out because there are thousands of criminals running around with guns, shooting people. You'd be stressed out too. That was happening in your neighborhood. Not happening in every Chicago neighborhood, but it's all over the place. Chicago's a very, very stressed out city, and the cops, they can't protect the people. And there's a million reasons why. But here are the 5 most stressed out cities. Cleveland. Must be because of the Browns. I don't know. Detroit, Baltimore, Memphis, Gulfport, Mississippi. All of those cities are stressed because of drugs and crime. Least stressed, Fremont, California, outside of San Francisco. South Burlington, Vermont. Fargo, North Dakota. Lincoln, Nebraska. Bismarck, North Dakota. Now, North Dakota is nobody there. Nobody lives there. The wide open spaces, a lot of fresh air. And the people who do live there, they're out doing stuff in nature. So they're not stressed. Philadelphia, 6th most stressed city. New York, 36, which is why I don't believe this study. Even though you go, O'Reilly, why are you reporting a study that you don't believe? Because I'm not omnipotent. All right, the study comes out, I throw it out to you. New York, 36, no. LA 42, Miami 72, Boston 117. I don't know, Boston. I never stressed in Boston when I was up there. Smart life. This is an important smart life for you. So there are various definitions of middle class Americans. But if you live in certain areas, you are poor if you earn a certain amount of money, but if you move to another area, you're middle class because of expenses. So for example, if you live in Chicago and you earn $60,000, you're poor. If you move west to Montana, all right, say Bozeman, you're middle class. Mobility is one of America's strengths. You have to understand what your earning potential is and then go to a place where you're not going to be poor. So salary, you need to be considered middle class. San Francisco is the highest, then DC, Seattle, Boston, Denver, San Diego, Minneapolis, New York. That's crazy because in New York City, you need $3,000 to buy a one-bedroom, to rent a one-bedroom place. It's insane. Baltimore, Portland. That's what you need to be middle class. Now, people aren't making $250,000 a year. So if you're living in San Francisco and you don't want to be categorized as poor, you got to move north to Redding, California, or Mendocino County. Beautiful place. Smart life. You have to be honest with yourself. What is my earning potential? And then you have to look around. America's a great country. A lot of fabulous places. I've lived all over the place. Fantastic places to live. But if you're going to hunker down in a place that's ultra expensive and you're not earning a lot of money, you're not going to have a good life. And that's my smart life tip. Ice cream danger. So the American Heart Association recommends that you do not eat 36 grams of sugar or more. Okay? For men, 25 grams for women. That's a day. Okay? A pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, all right, just a third of that is 40 grams of added sugar. And plus, if you eat it, you'll turn into a communist. So that's a downside too. Look at the label. Ice cream for me, once a week. And I love this stuff. And that segues into this day in history, July 23rd, 1904, World's Fair, St. Louis, Missouri. The ice cream cone was invented. Okay? So, an immigrant, a Syrian immigrant, invented the ice cream cone. And it just went wild. In 2022, the average American spent $75 annually on ice cream. That translates into $19 billion a year for ice cream. All right, worldwide, $113 billion in last year, 23. Okay? Now, I don't believe this stat, but Statista says 300 million Americans consume ice cream or sherbet. That's almost everybody. It's too high. But ice cream, it's great. I love it. Coffee is my favorite, but I like the kind of Swiss almond thing. But you can't. If you overdo it, you're gonna really hurt yourself. Have you ever been buried in debt, piles of overdue bills, threatening phone calls, and it just won't stop? Done with Debt is your way out. They have developed aggressive new strategies to end your debt permanently. Done with Debt tirelessly negotiates with your creditors to lower or even forgive what you owe. And they do it all without bankruptcy or new loans. Done with Debt has unique strategies to get you out of debt faster. But you need to hurry because some debt solutions are time sensitive. Visit donewithdebt.com and talk with one of their debt relief strategists for free. You have nothing to lose except your debt. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Let's go to the mail. We got David, concierge member. Now, we have a surge of concierge members. This is a very simple proposition. If you become a concierge member on BillO'Reilly.com and you get into trouble, we will try to help you. You tell us what the problem is, we go into motion. You want extra information about anything, we will try to get it for you. You buy stuff in BillO'Reilly.com store, you get a major discount. Add it all up, it's worth it. Concierge membership, BillO'Reilly.com. So David is one member. He says, Bill, you're absolutely correct about the upcoming Trump-Harris debate. Trump had better bring his discipline. He's already sliding back into name calling. Chad Cosgrove, Lincoln, Nebraska. Is it true that in some states Joe Biden's name cannot be taken off the ballot? No. All states will have the ballot with Kamala Harris's name on it. Andrew, concierge member. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, Bill, for the special report after Joe Biden quit the race. Concerning your commentary on Harris's options for VP, I don't believe that today there is any such thing as a moderate Democrat. Why? Because they all consistently vote en bloc on every progressive cause. That's true in Congress, but not governors and things like that. But you're right, they vote en masse in Congress. Very little dissent. Rich Sasto, East Northport, nice town, New York. Thanks, Bill, for the special report on Biden. You helped me refrain from watching all of the other pundits bloviate for hours. And that is a benefit for your life, Rich. It drives me crazy. I'm telling you, it drives me nuts to listen to these people. And they don't know anything. And they don't care they don't know. It's not like they're seeking information. Jeff Rogers, Massapequa, New York. Hey, Bill, I think it's a mistake for Republicans to be pushing for Biden to resign the presidency. It's no good reason to give Harris power to change the dynamic. If she became president before the election, she could close the border, open the strategic oil reserves, and name a swing state governor. Sure, but she can name a swing state governor now as a running mate, but he would be vice president, but he'd have to get through the congressional vote. So it's a little complicated there, but you're right. She could do EOs, executive orders, and bolster her status. Patricia Griffiths, Hernando, Mississippi. I listened last evening to the No Spin News. I found your statement on how you knew Biden would remove himself from the election insightful. Your passion for history and ability to watch, listen, and make assumptions reflects a God-given gift. I agree with you. I think my talent is God-given. Mark Camrick, Columbia, Missouri. Found myself applauding at the end of Monday's No Spin News. I didn't plan it. I was just feeling it. Well, I appreciate you watching, and I'm glad you're really getting something out of it. We've got thousands of new premium and concierge members on BillO'Reilly.com. A big welcome to you, and I hope you're finding all of our reporting worthy. Okay, so we got the mugs. They're quickly selling out. We want you to give the political memorabilia. Cover No Joe, Not Woke, Stand Up for Your Country, Team Normal, giving you a big discount. You buy all four. You can buy them individually. This is history in the making. Confronting the President's coming up September 10th. Huge advance sale. Get online. We'll ship it to you first if you pre-order on BillO'Reilly.com. Word of the day, do not be a nudnik. N-U-D-N-I-K. Nudnik. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.